Hey there, hope you're all well. So a lot of conversation at the moment about obesity and the fact that the government are looking to do something in particular here in the UK around how they tackle obesity, the fact that we have a problem in society with people having weight issues. And those of you that know me will know it's something that I get on my hobby horse about, because I genuinely do not believe that we can have a societal approach to trying to tackle obesity and setting down loads of kind of big blanket decisions and big marketing campaigns around obesity without looking more broadly at disordered eating and people's relationships with food and exercise and how we all feel about our bodies and our food consumption. So just tackling obesity on one level feels to me to be the wrong approach entirely. We have to look at, if we're going to look at that end of the spectrum, where are we considering the number of people in this country that are also living suppressed body weights, restrictive eating disorders, and are desperately struggling and may also then suffer around the dialogue that comes with an obesity or anti-obesity campaign. So I raised the point today just to say there will be a lot of dialogue about it in the weeks and months ahead, and depending where that campaign initiative goes, I just want to warn you to think about how you get drawn into the consideration around that, whatever that campaign might look like, but also just to remind you that on a broader level, this whole idea of kind of our wellness rhetoric that exists in society, you must eat this certain way, you must exercise that sort of way. Actually, if you've had a restrictive eating disorder, really, and I know this is tough, that sort of dialogue, that sort of communication is not for you. Be really careful about what you're getting drawn into there. By all means, find yourself having conversations with friends about what the government is saying, or, you know, everybody's has a right to an opinion, but just know that when you are trying to recover from a restrictive eating disorder, it really will not help you to be drawn into this wider, broader wellness rhetoric that dictates that you should live your life a certain way. If you genuinely want recovery, if you genuinely want to be on the other side of your eating disorder and living without a kind of limited, restricted regime around what you eat and how you look after your body and your mind, then you really have to single yourself out and say, this rhetoric is not for me, this dialogue will not help my recovery. As I say, I don't underestimate that the obesity epidemic is an issue in society. It needs addressing, and it's good to see that the government attempts to respond to issues around people's body weight and health, but I think it's part of a much broader messaging where we have to look at what somebody's size of somebody's body is just a small facet of what's going on in their mental and physical well-being, and we can't address one level without looking at the wider spectrum of disordered relationships with eating and exercise. And for all the good intent that the government may have, I don't want that rhetoric to cause us to have a worse problem longer term around how people feel about eating, how people feel about their bodies. So a bit of a rant, but I hope you take something useful from that today. Thanks a lot.